We all have heard these two terminologies, gerrymandering and MacAurthrism. But very few of us know the meaning of those two words. Very few of us know the political implications of those two words. I have tried to explain the two. Gerrymandering comes from a governor who was called Albright Gerry of Massachusetts in 1812. You will hear the name gerrymandering, and he was called Gerry Albright. So it is gerrymandering, which can also be said Jerry kuzurura zurura. Jerry kuzurura zurura. And how did gerrymandering come in? Our IEBC deals with electoral and boundaries. And before that, we had Interim Independent Boundaries Commission, headed by Ligale. We also, before that, had Electoral Commission of Kenya, which handled issues to do with boundaries. In the American system, there are two, at the federal level, there are two houses. What in Kenya we call parliament, they call it Congress. So our MNS, they call them congressman or congresswoman. And then we have the Senate. Now the Senate, the Speaker of the American Senate is the Vice President. They don't have Kingi. It is the Vice President who is the Speaker of the Senate. Now, since America became independent, every state has two senators. So there's no change in senators. There is that is static. Every state has two senators to make it 100, because there are 50 states. But the number of MPs, or the number of Congress people, is fixed. Now what they do is that every 10 years, they alter the numbers according to the population. If one state increases the number of people there within 10 years, and another state somewhere else, not necessarily its neighbor, another state has a decrease in number of population, you'll find that in that state, the number of Congress people will reduce, and the other one, where there are more people who have settled there or born or anything, it will have one or more congressmen or congresswomen. So every 10 years, they take the population of the whole country, divide it in the number of MPs, and then decide that the following state will have so many congressmen, and each congressman or congresswomen. Now, Congress people, their constituencies, in Kenya we call them constituencies, but in America they say it is called an electoral district. So a congressman or a congresswoman wins an electoral district. That is what they call a constituency. Now in 1812, when Governor Elbridge Gerry was the governor of Massachusetts, he was told that you are going to have so many constituencies, but in that country they call them, you are going to have so many electoral districts. You are going to have so many electoral districts. He commissioned an any boundaries commission, whereby he made sure that the boundaries were being made in such a way that it will be beneficial to him in elections. There is a fish called salamananda. Si tunajua tu ngege. There is a fish called salamander, which is very thin and very tall. So some constituencies would come up like that. And that is when they decided to call any election, any boundaries making, it would be made in such a way that if those who are making those elections are making it in such a way as to please themselves, then people started calling it gerrymandering. It's meandering like a river, but because of Jerry who started that. I remember in Kenya, there's a year, I can't recall who the person is, but there's a time when Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi had such a commission. You know, before Chesoni, we never had an electoral commission. So every time there used to be a boundaries review, the president would just come up with a commission that would specifically deal with issues of boundaries. And this politician who was given that job was very clever, that he went to the constituency where he had failed. He was a former MP. If I remember, I'll put it in the comment section. He went and made sure that the areas that did not vote for him were pushed into another constituency, and another area where he suspected the people would vote for him were brought into his former constituency. After handing over, we had told the president about it, Daniel Arap Moi. When he received the report, he just told the person, to be seen that you did it fairly, you are disqualified from becoming a candidate in this forthcoming election. So, viewers, you now understand what gerrymandering is. There is something else called, the second and last one, is called MacAurthrism. It is named MacAurthrism, which is also applicable in Kenya, is so called after Senator Joseph MacArthur. He was a senator between 1950 and 1954. We have commissions. The commissions have appeared before several parliamentary commissions. So there was a Senate commission around that time where the Senate was concerned of the high infiltration. It was concerned about the high infiltration of communism in the USA. You remember in Kenya, we had the Gorsungu Commission on Ouko. In Kenya, we had the Saitoti Commission on whether Kenyan wanted multi-party or not. In Kenya, we had JM Karaoke Commission, headed by Mwangale and Mark Mwithaga. We had a parliamentary commission to investigate cultism and devil worshipping. So it was such a commission where they were trying to investigate about the infiltration of communism in the United States. But what MacArthur did, he used that opportunity. If you have ever crossed swords with him or crossed roads with him, he would put you on the list of people who spread communism. So from that time, any person who puts you in a list of what you are not, where he puts you into a list that you are what you are not, because of the differences that you had with him, it came now to be called MacAurthrism. I have seen that even in Kenya during Kanu days, when Biwott made sure that Moi and Oko did not agree because he convinced Moi that Biwott he convinced Moi that Ouko wanted to overthrow him, whereas the real reason is that they had differed because of Kisumu molasses plant, and Sondu Miriu. Sondu Miriu was transferred. Okay, later on Sondu Miriu was made, but the money which initially was for Sondu Miriu was taken to produce Turquel Gorge. So that is what we call MacAurthrism, whereby you have differences with somebody, but then you go and say that he has dangerous and bad political leanings. Thank you.